live right now. My name is Don Daniel, founder of P.I.L.L Method International, a better way to eliminate debt. And today, we're in the Mortgage Syndicate Club, and the P.I.L.L Method is joining forces with the Mortgage Syndicate, talking about something that is so powerful that you've never heard this before. I'm excited to share this with you today about what we're doing, and sharing with you the biggest loophole ever. The biggest loophole ever. But it's not found in your tax code. All right. And so I've got some people up here already. Miss Star, how are you doing?
Hi, Grand Rising to the room. I'm just here on the stage because you said if we wanted to sit up and have questions during the show.
All right. All right. So listen, you're getting prepared, huh? Are you going to be taking some notes?
I have my pen already. The first thing I have is the title of the room, the biggest loophole ever.
All right. This is just your first time in our room?
No. I'm an active member. I'm here all the time. Fridays, during the week.
Okay.
I'm always here.
All right. Well, listen, thank you so very much for being here this morning. So Armand just entered the room. We got Donna and we got Credit Goddess here. Donna, good morning to you.
Good morning, Don. Good morning to everyone on the stage. My name is Donna Anglin. I'm located in Canada. However, I'm an active investor in the United States. I'm a longtime buy and hold real estate investor. I operate on assisted living, independent living spaces for seniors and adults. I'm a business purpose loan broker and a commercial loan broker. I'm here to add value, always to learn and to help the space grow. Thank you, Donna, and I'm done speaking.
Thank you very much, Donna. Rose, I see you here. Come on, talk to the people. Tell them who you are and what you do.
Hey. Happy Sunday. My name is Rosalora Lewis, also known as Credit Goddess, all things credit, credit score improvement strategist, business credit coach, NAV business loan broker, and an educator in the credit space. So I'm here to hear about this, the biggest loophole ever, and it's not found in the tax code. I want to hear this. Thank you, Don, for holding the space.
All right. Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for being here. And Terry, you listen, man, you're here practically every day in the mortgage syndicate. All right. Tell the folks what you do and why did you decide to come in here today? Because I mean, you're here Monday through Friday, but now you're showing up on Sunday too. What's going on?
I'm always around, Don. I'm always around. Good morning, everyone. My name is Terry Gerard. I'm a kitchen and bath specialist out of St. Louis, Missouri. I'm also a buy and hold investor. Very new to the investor side, and I'm here to learn about this major loophole that's not in the tax code. I like to save.
All right. I see Armand. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you being here today. And folks, if you want to see these numbers, because these are numbers you are going to want to see. Now, if you've heard me before, you know that we're actually also live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, so you can actually see what we're doing live. And if you want to do that, you could get your secondary device like your tablet or your laptop, and you can search P.I.L.L Method on any of those social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. And then you'll see our live broadcast so that you can actually see the numbers. These are numbers you absolutely want to see. So, folks, we're going to get started. We've already had one person come to the stage. I see some party hats in here. Let's see, Saida or I believe that's Sita. Thank you for being here. You're less than 1 week on the app. I see Arman, and I've talked to him before. He's less than 1 week on the app because he has his party hat on. Listen, folks, start sharing this room. Share the room right now. And if you are not a member of the Mortgage Syndicate Club, you do want to be a member. Go to the top of the page, see the little green house, click that little green house, and become a member of this club. This club is open for giving great information on everything, all things real estate, Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. Eastern Time to 12 p.m. Eastern Time daily. And sometimes they even go past that. All right. But we share we bring our information. The P.I.L.L Method Club brings our information into the Mortgage Syndicate on Sundays from 9:30 a.m. Eastern until 11:30 a.m. Eastern, and sometimes beyond, depending on the subject matter. But listen, good morning to everyone. Good morning to everyone. I want to make sure that you know exactly what we're talking about today. But first of all, let me start with this. You want to join the P.I.L.L Method Club as well, because the basic information about what we're going to be talking about is contained in the P.I.L.L Method. Prepayment of principal, isolating the principal amount, leverage, and liquidity. If you are a residential home buyer, or if you are a real estate investor, this today is information you want to know. All right. Because we're leaving millions of dollars on the table because we're not taking advantage of this particular loophole. And if you have, and if you've heard me before, you know that we've got good information. In fact, there's one person that I'd like to share with you today that has taken advantage of this information before, the P.I.L.L Method. And make sure you're following me and follow your moderators and follow the P.I.L.L Method Club as well. You can click on my bio and scroll all the way down and find our club there. Join our club as well. But I want to share with you one person who has taken advantage of the P.I.L.L Method, made his wife feel so much better about taking advantage of what he learned from the P.I.L.L Method. And we're going to share with you my book, and then we're going to get started. So let's hear from Dr. Eric Thomas, E.T., the hip hop preacher.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you gonna keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm gonna keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't gotta do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down from my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.
All right, folks, when you get this information today, if you want to know the month, day, and year you could be debt free, then you want to get a savings and earnings report as well. Go to the top here, click on my link above, and you'll see in there a button that says Get a Savings and Earnings Report. Once you fill everything out, go ahead and fill it out and follow all of the directions. And then by following the directions, you will be able to find our financial form. Put all of your information into the financial form. The average family has 13 different debts. The average family pays 35 to 39% of their take-home pay on interest payments alone. And these are well-to-do families. Okay. And then, so if you want to know the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free by saving up to 75% of your interest costs, we're going to let you know the month, day, and year you're going to be debt free, how much interest you could save, and then give you an idea what that saved interest can earn for you by the compounding effect of having it in some sort of investment, and then taking advantage of compound interest over just a few years. And some families can add an extra $1 million to their bottom line just because. I see Tiny Home Plug just walked in here. Listen, he wants to come up to the stage, so bring him on up before. All right. So, let me see here. Bring him up. Invite to speak. All right. What's going on, Jeremy?
I'm hanging out this morning, man, before church. What's up?
All right, man. Listen, we're listen. I'm glad you're here, because you're right here in Huntsville with me, and we're going to be talking about this today. But first of all, let's put my book on the screen. All right. We talked about how to get, how you can find out how you can save money on interest and then pay off all of your debt in an average of 7 to 9 years with the P.I.L.L method without changing your budget, without sacrificing lifestyle. But the basics are here in my book. You can find the P.I.L.L method, a better way to eliminate debt, on Amazon. And it is been a five-time bestseller on Amazon. And it is the only book out of 33 million titles that talks about what we're going to be talking about today: how to save money on your interest payments. It is not required that you give the bank all of that money. All right, Jeremy, tell us who you are and what you do, and let's go ahead and get started with these numbers. We got folks coming in on watching our live so that they can see it. If you're new to the room, go to YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, and search P.I.L.L method and get on our live broadcast on a secondary device. And we're going to get started here. Go ahead, Jeremy. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, man. Jeremy Winger here. I am the Tiny Home Plug. I specialize on using modular containers to create unique infrastructure to be able to appeal to everything from affordable housing to very quick short-term rental corporate housing development. I mean, imagine the build side being done when the concrete cures, when it, on the actual property being shovel ready, and that's what we have. That's what we're working on, and it's changing lives, man, across different states, and especially in Huntsville, man. And Don, I gotta catch up with you on that too, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Gus, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir, because you're a realtor. And listen, all you financial professionals, I need you to keep me honest. If I say something that is out of the way, I need you to be able to chime in there and let people know that this is either true or not true. Okay? So go ahead, Gus. Tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, thank you, Don. Good morning, everyone. Name is Gus O'Philly. I'm a real estate agent in the state of Maine, just like Don said, and I'm also a buy and hold investor in the state of Maine. Here to support Don. Thanks, Don.
Thank you so very much, folks. So listen, here's where we're starting, folks. I need you. I got 12 shares. I need you to continue to share the room. Let's get up to 20 shares in here. So if you're new to Clubhouse, all right, there is a button down at the bottom of your screen that has it's like a square with an arrow coming out of it. Go ahead and click that and share this room out into the hallway. And you can even put a message in there. Get in here and get this information today. All right, folks, let's get started. So if you have, I need you to kind of focus in here for a bit. How many of you have ever heard the phrase, a penny saved is a penny earned? A penny saved is a penny earned. If you've heard that phrase, go ahead and put a number 9 in the chat right now. Okay? Put a number 9 in the chat if you've heard that phrase. All right. A penny saved is a penny earned. And I need to know, do you guys really believe that a penny saved is a penny earned? And I'm going to give you an example of what I'm talking about right now. So what if you went out to dinner, folks? You went out to dinner. And at I'm talking about a top-notch restaurant. And you and a friend or your spouse went out to dinner at this fine restaurant. And at the end of the day, Listen, the ambiance was great. The food was great. The music was great. The service was fantastic. All right. And everything came to $400, which you thought was fantastic when it comes to the value you received for your money. You got the value and you're getting ready to sign the check. Got your credit card handy to pay for everything. And a friend walks over and says, "How you doing? Haven't seen you in a while." And says, "Listen, we need to get together." And says, "You know what? I'm going to make sure we get together, because what I'm going to do is go ahead and pay for everything for you." I said, "What?" "Yeah, I'm going to pay for everything." So here's my question, folks. Did you get the value? Did you get the dinner? You got the dinner, but did you have to pay for it out of pocket? Answer, no. So a penny saved, is it really a penny earned? $400 saved, is it $400 earned? Now, here's my question. What do you do with the $400 that you didn't pay for dinner, that you were going to pay, but you got the dinner for free? What do you do with that $400? Is that money, according to Benjamin Franklin, is that money really something that can we consider that earned money? I need to hear from you in the chat. Yes or no? Is that earned money, that $400? Go ahead, put it in the chat. If you're watching us online, put it in the comment section. I need to hear from you right now. That $400 you didn't have to spend, is that earned money? All right, Suzette says yes. Star says no. All right, Daniel says yes. All right, no. Lex says, I don't think so. Does anybody want to come to the stage? Because I believe it is. I would love to hear from you. Why do you think that is not earned money? So come to the stage if you can. Raise your hand and we'll bring you to the stage. I would love to hear your perspective, because this is something that's very, very important. When you don't spend money, but you got value, all right, is that money earned? Should you consider that earned money? Or is that saying is not true? A penny saved is not a penny earned. All right. No, not earned because you didn't do anything to receive it, but it is money accumulated, she says. Money accumulated. Okay. That's one way to look at it. All right. Money accumulated. Armin says not sure. Okay. Not sure. All right. So let's take a look at that. So a penny saved is a penny earned. You've got the value, but you didn't pay for it. Suzette also says, get it from your investment. Okay. So if we take that money that we didn't spend, Suzette, am I to infer that if you didn't spend the money, that $400, that you shouldn't think of it as something I can spend, but something I can invest? Suzette, is that what I'm getting from you? You didn't spend the $400. You got $400 worth of value. Let's not spend the money. Let's invest the $400. Yes or no, Suzette? Am I understanding you correctly? All right. And anyone else? All right. Listen, folks, I would love for this to be a conversation. If you are on the stage, I need you to go ahead and put your 2 cents in. I got Kirk the Bank Barnes in here. Kirk, how you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, Doc. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I'm doing well. Listen, man, we were just talking about that. A penny saved is a penny earned. We talked about going out to dinner, getting a nice $400 meal and the experience, but someone paid for our dinner for us. We want to know, is a penny saved really a penny earned, or that $400 saved, that is that $400 earned? What is your view on that, sir?
I would say it is. I would say, yeah, it's a $400 saved, $400 earned. I think so. And I'll buy Jordans with my $400.
He said you buy Jordans with your $400. Okay. All right, folks. So let's get into this. All right. So whether it's you look at it as earned or whether you look at it as accumulated, let's see if we can agree on this. All right. Should we start looking at money that we could have spent to acquire something? Should we look at it as extra money we can spend, or should we look at it as money we should invest? All right. I need you to put that in the chat. That money you saved or earned or acquired because you didn't have to pay to get the value. Should you spend that money or invest that money? Let's put that in the chat. All right. Star says investing. Yes, 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 yes. All right. Gloria says we should invest that money. Invest that money, Daniel says. All right. All right. Says whatever you work for is earned. Has nothing to do with spending. All right. Whatever you work for is earned. All right. Put it towards life insurance. I love that. Okay. All right. Depending on your needs. Okay. Depending on your needs. Listen, that is a very, very good answer. All right. It depends. Sometimes it does depend. All right. Yes. But if you had to choose, if your only choice was, should I spend or should I, on most cases, should I go ahead and spend that money? Listen. This is a situation where you intended to spend the money. You were fixated. I mean, this was money you were going to spend, and you felt good about it, but you didn't have to spend it. So should we spend it or should we invest it? Because you were going to spend it. All right. All right. There you go. All right. Invest if your needs have been met and your bills are paid. Well, Cynthia, like I said, you were going to spend the money anyway. You were going to spend it, but you didn't have to. All right. So let's assume that all the bills are paid. All right. So all things being equal, everything is good. This is a responsible person. They went out to a fine restaurant and they were going to spend the $400, but somebody else paid the bill. What should they do with that money? Spend it on something else, another dinner, or Jordans, or whatever it is, or should we invest it? All right. So listen, this is what we're talking about, folks. Here's where we are. And please come to the stage and let's have a conversation about it if you have questions. All right. So let's take a look at one way we can take a look at a penny saved being a penny earned. So I am going to put on the screen, if you want to see these numbers, I'm putting on the screen right now an amortization schedule. And let me see, we're going to present, we're going to share the screen, and there we are. We're going to put that on. And what we're talking about is I'm putting on a $200,000 mortgage at 6%. And we're going to go over that right now. $200,000 at 6%. And we're going to take a look at breaking this thing down so we can understand where we're coming from. All right. $200,000 at 6%. The payment is $1199.10. $1199.10. And if you are a moderator on the stage, please keep an eye out for people who have raised their hand so we can bring them up. Invite to speak. So we're bringing Suzette up to the stage so that she can share her thoughts today. I love it when people share their thoughts. So Suzette, I just invited you up. Come on up and see if we can Invite you up again. Let's see if we can get you up on the stage. All right. There we go. Suzette Thomas, how are you doing this morning? Click that little microphone in the lower right hand and we'll unmute you so you can speak.
On here.
There you go. Hi, Suzette.
Is that working?
Yes,
Hi
it is.
there. Hi.
So
Radio. So we were talking about investment and extra earnings. Am I correct?
that
And
is
money you
correct.
save
That is correct.
if you didn't spend it.
If you didn't
So
spend it.
if you didn't spend it. So it is my belief that if you went out with $400 and you didn't spend that $400 because somebody spent their own money, and you're left that extra cash in your pocket.
Yes.
You have to know what your needs are and use that money wisely. You may want to invest it, because if you didn't spend it and you invest it, then maybe you'll have it to spend later and it will double its value, and so you'll have it to use. But you may not be in a position to invest it, so you may want to use it for something you really wanted before that is not an investment, and you can now have the ability to get that because you've actually earned or saved it. For me, it's a saving because I didn't use it.
Right.
And you now have that extra cash to pick up what you want extra.
Aha. Okay. So you can get something extra, all right? Or you could invest it. Now let me ask you this, all right? The thing that so if you were going to pay for the dinner anyway, then
Radio.
can we assume that all of your other needs were going to be met, and anything else you wanted to buy, you could afford to buy it anyway?
Not necessarily.
Okay, listen.
Not necessarily means because you're going to pay for your dinner.
Here's what I meant.
Your needs have been met.
Here's what I meant. Let's assume, Suzette, in this room, that your needs have been met, because you went out to a fine restaurant. You could have gone to Denny's. All right.
Okay.
So if you can't afford your stuff, you shouldn't have been going to the fine restaurant in the first place. You shouldn't have gone to Denny's.
That might be correct.
Okay. So let's assume that everything is in order.
Then you would want to invest that money because you earned it. So you could probably find somewhere where you could double it because you've got it. You've put it aside in your pocket. It's now cash. So it's not going to do anything for you.
Okay.
So therefore, if you could find that $400 and you could find some investment that you can put it in, and it could return you probably double your money or triple your money or quarter your money, whatever, then maybe you have it. You should invest it.
I like that.
It's going to sit aside and it's going to work for you. And so you'll be able to double the amount of dividends you can have or use at a later stage depending on the investment you choose.
I like the money working. I don't like lazy money. Do you?
Well, personally, I don't do lazy money because I don't put money in the bank, sit down for interest. I invest. Of course, I drive a Range Rover. And I bought a property for £110,000. I'm in England, so I buy a property for £110,000.
Right.
My Range is for £110,000 too, but I take it and I purchase and I get the returns from the rent, and I pay for my Range every month from the rent. So at the end of the year, when my Range is paid for, or I still have the property, and so the money turns me again, and I can take another Range out when it gets to a stage where I have to pay the full whack for that Range. So I never drive a Range Rover that I own personally, but I use the money from the property that I would have bought a Range Rover from to drive that Range.
I love that. Let me ask you something else, Suzette. Do you also have do you also have a job?
I am self-employed.
You're self-employed. Okay. You're self-employed. And do you take an income from your self-employment?
I do take drawings, yes.
Okay, so here's what I'm saying. Now, you could buy your Range Rover from your income that you pay yourself. Or you could take your income. You could take income. You could take the the money you get from your investment to pay for your Range Rover. All right, you could do that, or you could take what you pay yourself. Now, I want to separate your pay from your profit. I want to separate pay from profit.
Radio.
Okay, you got me?
So, yes. So I could buy myself a Range Rover if I wanted.
Yes.
I could walk in the store.
Right.
And I could say, I like that car or whatever I want. I could walk in the shop and I could say, can I have that?
Yes.
But I have the privilege to take it on hire purchase if I was working and my returns
Yes.
from my salary could cover
Yes.
my range, and I would pay the interest to the loan company,
Right.
and I would lose at the end of the year or whatever time, I would lose that money because it automatically goes to the company who's a loan provider.
Right.
And the Range Rover devalued itself, and I automatically lost on my car because my car devalue and my loan company value remains the same and may go up if the interest rate goes up or whatever, if it's not fixed, and I automatically lose money.
There
And
you go.
it's not bad money, but it's a way of life.
There you go.
So for me, in order for me to retain my £100,000 that I would buy my car for,
right,
is I invest that money and I take the return from the investment to drive that car. And therefore, even though the car is devalued or go up into value, I still retain my $400 if it was $400 that you had for dinner. So 5 years later, I have my $400, and my property, which I invested into, would have gone up into value even. So my $400 now becomes $800 or whatever, and I still drive my car. I still have my salary or my drawings that I take to do whatever I want to do, or to further invest into something else that I make residual income from, and then live off that. So I climb the tree based on the returns I get from my investment.
Suzette, I'm loving this. Come on, folks. Can you get, there's so many layers here. So money she didn't spend from her income could have paid for the Range Rover, but she says, I want to keep my income over here, but I'm going to take the returns from the investment to pay for my Range. So now I've got somebody else paying for my Range, plus I'm making money over here, but I'm paying myself a salary, which I don't have to use to purchase a car. Oh my goodness. This is the foundation of what we're getting ready to put on the screen right now. So if you want to see these numbers we're getting ready to put on the screen, folks, you want to be on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn. Search P.I.L.L Method and you'll see the live. I've got a $200,000 or a 200,000 pound sterling loan and a payment of $11.99.10. So the only difference that we have here, Suzette, is what kind of money we're using. Okay.
Right.
All right. But everything else is going to be exactly the same. So here's what I'm looking at. Here's the basics. Out of this payment, 190, whoever is paying it at this point, $199.10 goes to principal. $1,000 goes to interest.
Correct, because you're 11 point something percent interest, yes.
All right, so now let me ask you something, everybody. Who wants to pay $1,000 interest out of that payment? Who wants to pay it? Who loves to pay that? So, all right. So
no one's want to pay 11% interest out of that.
Okay. So here's the other thing. Now, Suzette, since you are in real estate, can you give us a very short explanation of what equity is? What is equity?
Not me.
Okay.
You're quiet over time.
All right. So let me give you a short thing. All right. Equity. Your equity is the difference between how much the property is worth
and how much you have, yes,
and how much you owe.
How much you that's correct. How much you earn from the property. Yes,
all right.
Like that.
So that's
equity.
I'm
not a real estate person, I just do investments of anything.
You're not a real estate person, but you do investments.
I wouldn't say I'm a real estate person. I just juggles my money. I'm a money juggler more than anything else.
I love it. If
I borrow £200,000 from the bank, and I have to pay that back, and I put it into my mainstream business, I might buy a property because I know property is a long-term thing and it will give you a long-term return.
Okay.
And it's in a good area that it will grow, and I can somebody can pay the rent, so I can pay the bank, and I can take that £250,000 and do something else, I just do that. But
All
I'm
right.
not really a property person per se like that.
Got you.
I
Got
have
you.
a few properties, but they're all investments based on something I want. Some money I may have borrowed.
Mm-hmm.
Some money I may have sitting aside, and I don't want to leave it in the bank because it's not doing anything for me.
Okay.
And yeah, but my main business focus is home care. Actually,
All right.
that's the
Oh,
chunk of
listen,
where I
that's what
put my.
Donna does something similar. She's in Canada. So you may want to talk, you
Okay.
guys might want to connect. All right.
Oh yeah, she can connect to me. I'm just setting up a franchise in Canada in home care myself. So yeah, done it. By all means, please do. I put my details in the chat because
All right.
like I said, I juggle a lot.
All right. So here's what we're talking about. You can use what I'm talking about today for this loophole that we're talking about. You can apply it most anywhere. And I need people to focus in on this right now. This is an investment. It's at 6%. All right. And it's making money. You know, we're doing well. But here's the thing. I'm gaining equity in this property by making this payment. I have paid the property down by $199.10, but it cost me $1,000 in interest to do it. So right now, I'm not feeling really good about the fact if I focus in on that. Okay. It cost me $1,000 to get $199.10 in new equity. Does everybody get that part? Excellent. All right. So here's what I'm saying. Let's say we make this first payment in January, and I need people to understand this is the basics of an amortization schedule. I made my payment in January. So Suzette, are you watching this online as well? If you're talking, we can't hear you because you're muted. All right. Anyway, so folks, so we're making our payment. We're making our payment in January. And if we can look at this schedule, we can see that February's principal payment is $200.10. $200.10. So my question to everyone is, do I have to wait till February? If I made my mortgage payment in January, do I have to wait till February to give the bank that $200.10? Put it in the chat. Yes or no. Yes or no. Do I have to wait? It says no, 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 no. People are saying, no, you don't have to wait. You do not have to wait. No. No, you don't have to wait. Let me show you what happens. Everybody is saying no. Eddie says no. Donna says no. All right. Divine says no. All right. So here's what we're saying. If you prepay this $200, give it to the bank in January, they have to apply it to principal. All right. And you're paid down to line 2 on your amortization schedule. All right. So now you're in January, but you gave the bank the $200.10, you gave it to them early, and you just saved yourself $999 in interest to get the $200 in equity. And since you are on line 2, your next mortgage payment is on line 3. All right. So you just saved $999. So let's start there. I got equity, $200.10. All right. But I didn't have to pay $999 to get it. Is that money saved? Yes or no, everybody? Suzette, what do you think?
Yes, I do think it's safe.
Okay. So if I could get that same equity. Now, here's the thing. I got into this deal. It was a good deal to begin with. And because I have renters giving me that money, I was okay with the difference between what I'm charging in rent and what I have to pay for the mortgage. My mortgage payment is $11.99.10, but I'm charging more rent than that, so I get to keep the difference, which is really good. I was okay with that until I started looking at this amortization schedule this way. And now I see that, yes, they gave me $1,200. They gave me more than that, but I had to take some of that money to make the mortgage payment. How about that? But if I have $200 laying around, let's say in an account that is what do we say has a maintenance budget. So I got a maintenance account so that I can keep my properties up. And if I had an extra $200 there, I could borrow that $200 from myself, apply it to this loan, and save $999 in interest. Would that be a good thing? What do you think, Suzette?
I believe it. I believe it is a good thing. Yes,
Okay.
because when you're making savings, it should be positive. If you're going into your savings and you're going into where your equity has been reduced, then that is not. So I believe once you're increasing your equity in your property or your investment, and you're making savings, that has to be a good thing. I'm not sure, but
All right.
That's how I work.
Okay. So
May I ask you a question, Ice?
go right ahead, Star.
Okay, so I'm taking notes and I'm a novice here, but I'm fully in student mode. So just to make sure that I understood you, you're basically saying when we take out these loans, it's smart to pay off the equity or the principal first to avoid so much interest? Is that what you're saying?
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I was writing the right notes.
No, right. Listen. You jump in anytime you want. You jump in anytime you want, Star, because it takes courage to come to the stage and ask these questions. All right, and I'm glad.
Thank you. I'm also tuned in on YouTube too. I see you on the screen.
Look at you. Let me point right at you, Star. I'm pointing right at you. All right. So here's what we're talking about, folks. We just saved $999 in interest to get the equity of $200.10. Now, on the very first payment, to get my equity, I had to give the bank $1,000. So if I give them the $200 early that they wanted to charge me $999 for, did I just get my equity for free, Star?
I would say yes, you did.
All right. I would say so too. I think even Suzette would agree with that. Suzette, since you are an investor, is it important to you to know what your return on investment is? What's a good return on your investment? What's a good return on your investment?
It really, really depends. It really depends on that investment.
Okay.
When you say a good return on a particular investment, it really depends. Some investments are long term, and your return's going to be long term. Some investments are short term, and you're looking for a better return in short term investments, and you're looking for a good return in your long term investment, but it may not be as good as a short term investment because it really depends.
Okay, so let's pick one and say, what would you like? What's a good return to you? Let's pick one, short or long, and then tell me what's a good return for you.
It depends on my goal. So I'm kind of different. It really depends on what my goals
are. Suzette, I need a number for these examples. Okay? Because if you keep doing that, I'll never get done. Give me a number.
If it was a property,
Yeah.
If it was a property,
sure.
I would look. Oh God, I don't know. I would look to have a sort of a certain percentage, like a couple percentage in returns on the property, because I know over long term it's going to.
Okay, so give me a number.
I don't really put numbers on these properties, to be frank.
I don't care. I don't care if you do it or not. So when you're talking to somebody else,
I say 5%.
5%. Thank you. Okay, let's work with that, folks. 5% return on the money. All right. And so I'm sure there'll be somebody that would love to get 5% return on their money since the bank is not paying anywhere near that. Okay. Very good. Thank you, Ms. Suzette. So here's what I want to just show you. When you take your income and divide it by what you are investing, then you get, then the math will come out. Here is your return on that money. All right. So here's what we're looking at. What we're investing, okay? And I need you to start looking at this as an investment. You made your first payment in January. You just prepaid. Here is your asset. Here's your asset. Your $200.10 is your asset. And the money that you saved or earned, all right, is $999. When you divide, you take your money that you made or saved and divide it by your asset, it will tell you what your return on investment is. Let's put that on the screen, folks. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Now, let me ask you this, Suzette. In most cases, the money you make as a return on investment, is it taxable in most cases?
Well, yes, it is.
There you go. All right. So here's what we're looking at. I just saved $999. Okay. What did I pay to save the $999? I'm going to divide it by the $200 I paid early. $200.10. When I do the math, it comes out at 4.99. If you do that percentage, it comes out to 499% return on my money. Folks, is that true or not true that just by prepaying that money, I've got nearly a 500% return on money I had sitting in the bank making about 1/10 of 1%? What do you guys think about that? I need you to put that in the chat. What do you think about getting a 500% return on your money? Goldmine Star says, Goldmine. This is what we're looking at. Steve Mack says phenomenal. All right. Good morning to you, Yolanda Sells, Michigan. She's watching us on Facebook right now. Listen, folks, this is what I'm talking about. Now, here's my next question. Armand says, makes my brain hurt. Okay, listen, folks, because we are paying interest like this, but we have opportunity to invest our money. When you can invest your money in a different way, take that money and invest it and get a 500% return on your money, that is fantastic. The longer you stay in this mortgage, the more years you stay in, the amount of a return on your investment goes down. In fact, there's a point at which you do not want to prepay on your mortgage anymore. All right. So if we take a look at this mortgage here, folks, we take a look at this mortgage and we start to scroll all the way down. All right. If you're seeing this, if you're new to the room, go to YouTube, search P.I.L.L method, and you can see what we're looking at. All right. So I'm scrolling down, and look at this. I'm down at the point where I have to pay I have to prepay $1,000. All right. If you're watching this online, there is a delay between what you see and what I'm talking about. I got to prepay $1,000 to save $197 in interest. See, there's a certain point where you do not want to continue this practice because what you could save, all right, goes so far down that you may have a better place to put $1,000 that can make you more money elsewhere. So the time to do this is towards the beginning of the loan where you can get a great return on your money. Now, that $999 I just saved to acquire the same asset, do I have to pay taxes on that? Anybody?
No.
Isn't that something? I can get
Yeah.
a 500% return on my money. I don't have
Without
to
paying tax.
pay taxes on.
That's good.
Wow, wow, wow. Are you hearing that, folks? Now, I don't know what it is in the UK. All right. So now here's another layer to this. I'm saving money. All right. And that's money I could have spent to get that equity. And if I track that money, let's see how we could, is there another opportunity to invest that money? Let's take a look. Let's take a look at it this way. I need you all to take a look at cumulative principal and cumulative interest. And Star, you're watching us online. All right. So Star, please turn down the volume on your other device. And then, because I want to ask you a couple of questions about this since you're seeing these numbers. All right. Start.
Sure, I'm here.
All right. So if you're looking at cumulative principal here, cumulative interest, that's adding up all the principal payments for 1 year and all the interest for 1 year, correct?
Yes.
All right. So at the end of 1 year, I've paid this loan down by $2,456 and a penny. That is the equity I just created. How much interest does the bank want for that equity, Star? Cumulative interest.
The cumulative interest. It looks like $11,933.
Is that too much money to pay for $2,456 in equity?
Looks like it's a lot. I'm not even really good at this, but I'm just like, that's a big jump.
That's a lot of money to pay, isn't it? So when you look at this as a mortgage, do you realize that's about $14,000 paid out just to get $2,400 worth of benefit? Do you want to pay $14,000 just to get $2,400 worth of benefit?
No.
No. All right. So here's my next question, Star. Since you saw what we did with line 1 and line 2, we know we have to give this to the bank because that's money we borrowed, the $2,456.01. We borrowed that. Do I have to pay it in 12 monthly installments, though? That's my question. Star.
I would assume you still have to pay that.
I know, but do I have to pay it in 12 monthly installments is my question.
No.
If I had it, could I give it to the bank all at once on line 1?
Yes, and according to you, that's the best time to do that at the beginning of the year.
Watch this, Star. Watch this. I'm putting my calculator back on the screen. All right. I have a loan of $200,000. Okay.
Ice.
Yes.
Ice. Stop for just a minute.
Go right ahead.
With mortgage loans, there are penalties if you pay up a little bit earlier than your terms and condition. In your terms and condition, how do you get out of that?
That is true. And I don't get out of it. I just change one word. You want to know what the word is? I changed the word penalty to cost. There is a
penalty to
cost, COST. There is a cost to prepay. Now, what's my question? What do you want to charge me to prepay? I can figure that out. I can figure out what the actual penalty is. And isn't that true, Suzette?
They do tell you what the penalties are. You're aware of what your penalties are, before what percentage they'll charge you if you get out early.
That's right. So what would be worth the cost? What would be worth the penalty?
Right. That is correct. You're very right. Because the penalty
Go ahead.
is going to be less than the returns if you pay monthly and stick by the calculation of their interest that they required.
Ooh, now you're catching on. All right. So listen, folks. So if they're going to charge me a penalty for giving them $200 early, and I get to let's bring Credit Ninja up. If I get save $999, what? and you charge me a penalty of $100, is that a good deal? Come on, folks. See, here's the thing. When there is a prepayment penalty, what we don't know is how much interest we save. We don't know what our benefit is, and all we hear is penalty, and we get scared and keep paying all of that interest to the bank without knowing what our benefit would be. So the bank will tell you what your penalty is or your cost, but they will not tell you what your benefit is. They won't tell you that. All right? That's what we're talking about. Let's see how we can get the biggest tax, not a tax break, but the biggest loophole that we never saw before. So here's what I'm saying. I got $200,000, all right? $200,000 here. And I prepaid 245601. Okay? So we're going to take the 200,000, we're going to subtract the 2,456.01, and I get 197,543.99. So, Star, isn't that the same thing on line 12?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. So you mean I could give the bank that and be paid down to line 12 on my amortization schedule in just 1 month?
If you have that extra money sitting around.
All right. And now what would happen to all the interest payments between line 2 and line 12?
I'm guessing that it would disappear.
You do not have to pay that because I get paid all the way down to here in 1 month. See, when you give the bank money every month on this mortgage, you have to pay them nearly $1,000 each month, don't you? If you pay by the month. Look at all those monthly interest payments. Do you see that? So if I give them this money up front, do you know what? All I pay to get the same benefit, I get the equity of $2,456 and a penny, but it only costs me $1,000 in interest instead of $11,993.19. Is everybody seeing that? Do you all see that? So let's do the math. What is my return on investment? Because I could keep that cash in my bank. All right. I could keep that cash in my bank. Let's say I have a reserve fund to take care of my benefit. I've got to take care of repairs and maintenance on my buildings. So I have a little bit of extra money. Could I borrow the 245601? And then that means my interest that I saved is $10,944.42. Let's do the math. Here is my benefit, the money I saved, $10,944.42. What am I investing in this mortgage? I'm taking money out of my reserve fund. And I got plenty in my reserve. So, and it's sitting in the bank making 0.1%. I'm going to take out $2,456 and a penny to get my $10,000, almost $11,000 in interest savings. So I'm going to divide it by $2,456 and a penny. And I get 4.45 or 400 and this 6, I round the 5 up to 6. I get 4.46 or 446% return on my money. Where else can we get that, folks? Where else can we get a 446% return on our money? And getting that kind of return, looking at it this way, I just saved $10,944.42 that I didn't have to pay to get that equity. Do I have to pay taxes on those savings? And as Benjamin Franklin said, a penny saved is a penny earned. Is $10,944 saved? $10,944 earned? Credit Ninja, Karina, you just came to the stage. Karine, listen, you've listened to some of this. What do you think?
It's magic, Don. You know me with an extensive banking background. They don't teach this in the banking world, and it's not part of their training, program for a reason. So we have to change this world on the other side, and being here in your room and you teaching this is definitely making an impact. Thanks for having me, Don.
Listen, Karine, you need to go ahead and tell the folks who you are and what you do. And you're talking about your extensive banking background. What does that mean? Talk to us. And then if I say anything out of the way, would you please correct me while you're here?
Absolutely. All right. Good morning, everybody. My buddy Credit Ninja is also on stage and a lot of friends on stage. I also want to acknowledge some of the Korean.club who are in the followed by the speaker box: Steve, Patrick, Sherelle, and Julie. Thank you guys so much for coming here. All right, my name is Karine Mills, and I'm a money making mentor for women. We don't say no to men, but I help people make peace with their money through financial literacy inside Karine.club. Financial literacy is a wide range of topic, and this is exactly what we're doing here. We are learning about financial literacy and how to hack a lot of these things that Don is teaching us. I do have Don's book as well, and I share his book. In fact, Don, I was just having coffee with a photographer who does my personal branding photo shoot, and she is looking into paying off her mortgage. She does really well. So I recommended your book. I added your book on my Amazon storefront. So it's added to my compilation of 100 books, world, or what is it? 100 books that will change the game for you, or something like that. But banking, okay? I had a really extensive background in banking. I went from teller, personal banker, relationship manager, business banking, VP in commercial lending. I was crunching my own numbers and underwriting. Bachelor science degree in accounting and all of these fun stuff, right? Accolades. Accolades are BS sometimes because you go through a very sanitized training program. And when I say sanitized training program, it means training programs and training um, path that only benefits the banking industry, the financial industry. It does not benefit the consumers out there. So that is what I mean in short form is we have to go out there on the other side and pick up knowledge that is not taught through our professionals, through our financial planners, through our bankers. I also had 12 years in insurance. I own my own insurance practice. I had my FINRA regulated licenses, and so I'm very thick in accumulation, protection, and education. Now I'm educating people about what I learned, and collaborating with people like you, Credit Ninja, and a lot of the financial people here on Clubhouse. It's been an amazing journey, and we are making it happen and changing everybody's world one person at a time. Back to you, Don.
Thank you so much. Credit Ninja, how are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Excellent.
I woke up. I woke up to some ice. I just got your. Listen, I just came back from Vancouver, Washington. Karine had her Friendsgiving annual Friendsgiving that she has every year with 100. Well, it's supposed to be 100 women. Now it kind of grew to 120 something because everybody had FOMO and they wanted to go. And we're there, getting to know each other, having this VIP experience. And I came back with a cold. Ice. She gave me a gift, man. She gave me a little cold.
Okay, okay.
And then I wake up to ice, and he's really making me cold. But you know what? Being uncomfortable in the finance world is actually good. And I'll tell you why. Because when you get too comfortable, the banks take advantage of you, right, Ice?
That is correct. That is correct. So, what did you think about this
Yeah.
example to get over 400% return on my money? What do you think about that?
Oh, it's magic. And I just got your book, Ice. I support the people that I believe in. The last time we were in the room, you on my list. So I ordered it before my trip to see Kareen, and it just arrived. I just checked my mailbox a few days ago, and I'm eager to tear the crap out of it. Like read it, highlight it, tab it. Read it 20 times. I want to read it because again, the banks and for those who don't know, my name is Leanne. I'm known as the Credit Ninja. I'm a credit expert. I started in the data space. I own, well, I ran two tech companies. I have part ownership in two tech companies, and the third time around, I wanted to help consumers with their credit and finance because the banks were really taking advantage. And you're thinking, well, why would you know that? Well, because the second company I ran is a company that is partnered up with the bank. I was essentially the bank, Ice. I was charging fees every time that you use your debit card. It's a money transfer system. We were actually FDIC insured. I I have a patent, a trademark, and a patent on processes to send money overseas and in the U.S. based on the using the ATM rails. Okay, and when I tell you, I made a lot of money because it's all fee based. Okay, fee based is when you go and use your when you use your debit card or credit card, and you pay a fee to transfer money. You pay a fee to check. You pay a fee to check your balance. You pay a fee to send money to your family. It's like MoneyGram and Western Union on steroids. So I made money every second of every day, and these people pay for convenience. Let me repeat: people pay for convenience. If they don't go to their bank, they have to they have to pay a fee. When they're at the casino, I live in Vegas. For those who don't know, if you use those ATMs, the fee is tremendous. Sometimes $10 to take money out, and then your bank also charges a fee. So when you understand how to avoid being taken by the banks don't want you to know. You know, same thing with getting your credit optimized. When you have a perfect credit score, you are now paying less fees. Do you think the banks want you to know how to optimize your credit? Heck no. That's why you stay in rooms where you learn how to beat the bank at something or be the bank, right? So when people think, BYOB, bring your own beer or bring your own booze. Well, it's BYOB is bring your own bank. Be your own bank, right? Be your own bank. BYOB, be your own bank. I love that. I created that term.
There you go. So, folks, here's what she's saying. You need to start thinking like a bank. Think like a bank. So what we haven't been doing for 88 years, we've been borrowing money this way, paying 75% more interest than we need to, being afraid to pay off debt cheaper because some of this debt has prepayment penalties, but we've never bothered to do the math because no one ever showed us how how you can benefit by using dormant cash to save you 100, 200, 300,
Well, I
400% on your
okay.
money.
Let's talk about that dormant cash. Did
Yes.
you know that putting your money in the bank actually devalued over time, and it actually escalated in the last 3 years because they were printing more money than ever before. I think it was 7 point something trillion dollars out of thin air. So that that $1,000 or $10,000 is worth only $600, whatever. It's down dramatically. I mean, think about it. If you took $100 and you bought groceries, now it costs you $150. Where did that why did you have to pay another? That means the money that you've been holding so dearly to life in the
Drop by
bank.
50%.
Yes. So wouldn't you rather have used it to something that actually increased in value than decreased in value?
You see, here's
You
the
know?
here's the thing, folks. When you take a loan out like this, I love using the bank's money this way because when I take a loan out for 30 years, even the money that I have that's devalued gets me the same return. That doesn't change. That doesn't change. I'm going to get a return on my money based on how much my money was worth when I took out the loan. In fact, in this scenario, in inflationary times, a loan is actually more beneficial in inflationary times. Oh my goodness, because when you pay that thing, when you use it to save interest, you're making money big time. But when you take that money and spend it in inflationary time, it gets eaten up. So I love borrowing money. The banks are the biggest borrowers in town. They borrow our money. They make big benefit out of using our money and then pay us pennies on the dollar for the use of it. Why can't we do the same thing, Credit Ninja? Why can't we do the same thing? Credit Ninja, are you there?
I'm sorry, can you ask the question again?
I was saying, why can't we do the same things the bank is doing to us? The bank borrows our money. They put it, they get a big benefit by investing our money and then pay us pennies on the dollar for the use of it. Can't we do the same thing?
And it's crazy. People don't understand how the money flows. Okay, you absolutely know how the money flows and how interest is computed using charts and formulas because you're gifted. You're gifted, and you're sharing the gift, and you got to know how the play is. If you have the blueprint, you're sharing the blueprint, and that's what's essential. Is that they don't want you to know. Why would they want you to know? Because it's like the old boys club, right? And
Exactly.
I'm gonna say another thing that's gonna be triggering. It's the old white boys men's club. Okay. And as a minority female from another country where we don't have access to mortgage and loans or credit cards, it's like Disneyland for me over here, man. I come over here, I'm like, wait a minute. If you have good credit, you can borrow unlimited amount of money. What the heck? You know? It's like a kid in a candy store now, right? Ice, the wrong kind of ice.
Exactly.
um, I remember going to college and I had friends that were Asians. I went to a predominantly Asian school, pre-med school. They all took out loans because the interest was, they don't have to pay for it for 30 years. And they're thinking, okay, if 5 of us kids got more loans at pretty much next to nothing, and we're still going to school anyway, and we got grants on top of it, they all amass major amounts of money, wealth, because they all bought homes from it, and they bought multiple homes from it, and then they leased all. I mean, they rented all these homes out, right? They did Airbnb before. They did Airbnb 30 years before Airbnb even got thought of, because these Asians were thinking, well, we're gonna sacrifice our privacy and freedom and share it with other people so that we own the the house outright. They were the ones paying the mortgages early, right? Interest
Okay.
cancellation experts from Asia.
I can attest to that, my dear. I started my business 23 years ago from my student loan and grants. So,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. So, Suzette, are you saying you borrowed money? All right, because I know people who use student loans. All right, once they pay for their classes, if they have any money left over, they spend that money. Are you telling me after you paid for your classes and your books and everything you needed to be in school, any extra money you invested that money? Is that what I'm hearing?
yes, I did. My mom was a great well, she was a nurse, and she's a great inspiration to the children. So once you pay up everything and whatever you had left, he took out a bank account. You had to put that money away.
Wow.
And when I finished uni, of course I studied the sciences, but I actually went into the home care business for some reasons. And that finance to set up was the money I had put in the bank. I hadn't got a loan, and I didn't come from a background where the family had some money to help, or nobody in my family had done business before. So my entire aunties and uncles and sisters and brothers, they hadn't gone down the business route, so they hadn't got the guidance for me. I was out of uni and went into self-employment business. It was quite scary, but it's just what I had from the student loans and the grants that I put away. Because I was living at home with my mom, so I didn't spend the extra cash.
Wow, listen, that is great. That's what we're talking about here, folks. Find a way, use your money, so it benefits you. We had brought Joshua to the stage. Joshua, how are you doing today, sir?
I am feeling blessed. How are you guys?
I am doing well, sir. I'm doing well. Do you have a question or a comment for us today?
Well, mostly I am interested in just introducing myself. I love what is being discussed in here. I am relatively new to the financial world. However, my unique value proposition as an educator is tying together financial literacy with music, specifically hip hop. So teaching the concepts that y'all are talking about in here through rhyme
Oh,
to get
okay.
this message out to the masses.
It helps us to remember.
Correct.
Thank you
Because
so very much.
and I know you understand this, because of the numeric quality of rhymes.
Well, you know what that probably would have helped me in school, because I have ADD and Asperger's, or I'm autistic, which gives me the insights here, folks. Because when I look at an amortization schedule, I see the pictures and the patterns. This is my thing. This is where I focus. When I was in school, they didn't understand me, and so I didn't do well in most of my classes. Something like this might have helped me, where repetition deepens the impression.
Exactly.
So
if I can reach if I can reach the you of, I'm not going to ask your age, but if I can reach the you of 30 years ago, right, with arming you with the information in this room that you are now currently sharing, but I could share that with you 30 years ago, the impact that that would have on your life, sir.
Well, folks, I don't know Joshua. I have not vetted Joshua, but listen, he has a filled out bio. Check him out, and if there's anything there, listen, you make a determination on. But listen, he's got some notable people following him that follow me. I mean, that tells me something. All right, and he's on Twitter, and he has an IG account as well. So check him out, see what he has to say. And then, so Joshua, thank you for coming to the stage today.
Hey, Ice, it's credit. You pull to refresh. I just took a picture of it because I have my billboard in the back. But if you notice, there's your book. There's your book.
Wow.
Support your friends, guys. If your friend has a book out, has a product out, has a service out, it takes a lot to write a book. So I just want to let everyone know. Thank you, Kirk. That we share a lot of time on this stage. In this room, like probably 20, 30,000 hours in the last 2 years. So if they're coming out with a book or whatever it is, do what you can to support them. If you can't support them financially by purchasing a book, tell other people about their book. I think that's the best way for us to help each other. Because if we all come together as a community and help each other save money and find these loopholes. I mean, I found a loophole in the credit world, right, Ice?
That is correct. That's what you did.
And you mentioned the number 88. How did you get the 88 is the number 8 is my favorite number in the world. Why 88? I just want to know.
Because in 1934, that's when the amortization of mortgages really got popular. That's when it got kickstarted. Because prior to 1934, you could not get a 30-year mortgage. You could get a 3 to 5 year mortgage, and most of them were interest only. This didn't come into being here in the U.S. until 1934, 88 years ago.
Okay, so Ice, the reason why I had to jump in, Ice, is 88 is my favorite number in the world. It's magical. And the number 8 itself. See, my programs are $88 a month that we have. We also have $888 for some of the other like educational program, and then my personal high level coaching is 8,888. 8 is my favorite number. Of course, I'm Asian, we put 8s on everything. Now, if you turn 8 to the side, what do you get, guys? If you lay it to the side.
Infinity.
Right. Now, do you want to freaking pay your mortgage to infinity? No. You want to lay it up, and then you're thinking, well, I don't know if I have enough time in the day to work. You know what? It's like an hourglass, the sand that floats down. If you flip that hourglass upwards, turn it the other way, you got more time. I just bought you more time. That's why I love the number 88.
Hey, Ice, I can't let Credit Ninja one up me, so I posted my picture of your book as well.
Listen, folks, thank you. Listen, folks, we're going to put it on. Listen, if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, we're going to put the book up there as well. Thank you so much, ladies. This book is the only book on Amazon out of 33 million titles that teaches you how to read an amortization schedule and how to benefit from the amortization schedule, taking that money that you're borrowing and turn it into wealth. It's the basics. Don't look to this book as a 1, 2, 3 ABC as to what to do specifically. You need to know that what the book does, it gives you an introduction, and it tells you that what we've been learning is the wrong thing. And you need instruction, and you need a coach and technology to help you to save more money and to do more with your money. Ladies, thank you so very much. And folks, get the book today and share it with your family and friends for the holidays. Luis Australia, coming in here from all over the world doing business. Good morning to you, sir. And what brings you here today?
Man, I wasn't gonna let these women upstage me, man. I'm about to start posting photos of my clients at their closings holding your book, because I've made your book and your information uh, uh, a common known practice with regards to my clientele. I actually start coaching them about the amortization rates from the very first consultation because of the information that I've gotten here. I'll tell you, when I first took the real estate exam years ago, almost a decade ago, when we had a portion of the test on the amortization table, I just automatically knew I was just going to get the answer wrong because it just sounded like mumbo jumbo to me. So I just accepted that loss. But now with ICE's methodology, and I would say his scientific method on how to pay down your or how to wholesale mortgages at wholesale prices, as far as the payback, for me, it's incredible. So I'm just here to learn more, man. That's why I come into this room.
Listen, man, we just went over, we got some new people on the stage, but because you are here, listen, because of the title of the room, I'm just going to give you just a little bit of what we just went over. And it is amazing. We started out with a penny saved being a penny earned. So we pointed out on this amortization schedule, that if, just as an example, this is not exactly what I teach, but it's just an example. In the first year on this loan, which is a 6%, amortized over 360 months or 30 years, in the first year, I would pay this loan down by $2,456 and a penny, and it would cost me $11,933.19. We talked about the biggest loophole ever that is not in the tax code. And here it is. penny saved being a penny earned. If I prepay, okay, let's say all things being equal, if I prepay the 245601, it saves me $10,944.42. Okay, watch this. If a penny saved is a penny earned, then $11,000 saved is $11,000 earned that you could invest somewhere else. Now, watch this. If I take that money out of the bank that is making 0.1% and invest it in my mortgage. What the word did I use? I'm taking $2,456 and a penny, investing it in my mortgage, and what do I receive? What is my return on that? I get out of that $10,944.42 in interest I did not have to pay to get the same equity. So, how do you calculate your return on investment? You take your income and divide it by the total assets. My income here, or my savings, is 10,944. I'm putting it on the screen right now. 10,944.42. That's what I got. What did I invest? I divide it by $2,456 and a penny. I get 4.456 or 4.46. If I put it as a decimal, that's a 446% return on my money. Hannibal, what do you think about that, sir?
Man, I think your method has always been one that people
If
should
you're
take
talking,
heed.
we can't hear you, Hannibal.
Can you hear me now?
You may need to go out and come back in. The
Can
app
you
is
hear me now?
glitching.
I can hear him.
Can you hear me now?
All right. So, Hannibal, come out, man. We want to hear from you. Go out, come back in. I don't know what's going on with the app,
Hey,
but
Don,
let's get that.
we can hear
Listen,
him.
folks, this is awesome.
Hey, Don.
Try it now.
Don?
Hannibal, are you there?
Yes,
One
I'm back.
second,
Can you hear
folks.
me?
Yeah.
One second, folks.
We can't hear you. Sorry.
Don, I think that's
All right,
probably
Mo.
you.
So listen, folks, did you see that? If you're new to the room, that's what we're talking about. Now, if that is a 446% return on the money, all right. Let me see here. I've got
Don, can you hear me?
let's see. Kurt, I can't hear you. Did I
Hey,
push?
Don.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I had the
Don.
wrong button push.
Okay, because we could hear him.
Okay. All right. Hannibal, what's going on, man? I had the wrong button pushed.
Hey, Don.
Hey there.
Can you hear me?
I can. So listen, man, I'm sorry. I'm just so excited. I'm pushing buttons over here. I pushed the wrong one. What do you got to say to us today?
I think your method is absolutely brilliant, riveting. I know math is usually not a subject that is tantalizing, but saving that money and investing is crucial. And me personally, I think investment is absolutely important. I understand the power of compound interest. Now, the same kind of concept that you're teaching with the pill method to like saving money, when you catapult that to reallocating that money and putting it in an instrument that gains money and you're consistent and do that, like that takes your wealth to a whole other level. So if people went to a site like investor.gov and not even, if people typed in compound interest calculator in Google, the first result that comes up is investor.gov. So all the money that you're saving them, if they take that amount and they put that in the calculator for the initial amount and they put a marginal amount in every other month, like $100 or so, and they did that for 30 years, 20 years, the number on that calculator would really surprise them, and it'll go from paying somebody else to making money. So I think it was either Benjamin Franklin or Einstein that says, "He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." And they were talking about compound interest, and it's that same concept. The bank understands compound interest and amortization, which is why they make all that money off of us. But you're trying to teach them to flip the script. I want everybody to flip the script on everything. The bank tells you to save, and they take the money you save and they invest it and make money with it. I want you to listen to people like Don and make money with that money. I want you to listen to people like Luis and Get Your Home. I want you to listen to all the thought leaders that you see here on here. I want you to listen to someone like Kareen and multiply your money and your resources and things like that. So I'm happy to be here. I always say I want to be the dumbest person in the room, or I don't want to be the smartest person in the room. And today, I'm definitely not the smartest person in the room or on the stage, which is exactly why I'm here. And I'm here to learn. So thank you, Don.
So Hannibal, listen, man, we just talked about this, and you're exactly right. We just showed that if we look at this as a penny saved is a penny earned, normally, if I'm a real estate investor, all right, and I'm charging rents, and my payment on the mortgage is less than the rent I'm charging, that means I'm cash flowing on this property. That's a good thing. Every real estate investor I've ever talked to does not really look at the interest they're paying because it's money they're giving, that their tenants are giving them. So we used an example to start with that I went out for a very nice dinner. All right, me and my wife, we went very nice dinner, came to $400 and somebody else paid the tab. I got the dinner. I got that ambiance. I even got the credit from my wife. Okay. She said, listen, thank you for taking this to such a great place, but somebody else paid the tab. What am I going to do with that $400? I want to invest that money. So if that's $400 I could have paid, but I didn't pay. So when we have our tenants giving us money, in this case, in 1 year, the tenants gave us, I'm going to put it on the screen. All right. In 1 year, the tenants gave us the $2,456 and a penny. Okay. That part went to principal. They also gave us $11,933.19. That went to interest. That's a total of $14,392.20 that my tenants gave me. My tenants gave me that money. But because I am cash flowing big time, I'm not looking at the fact that they gave me $14,000, but out of that money, I only got $2,456 and a penny worth of equity out of the money they gave me. What if I decided I wanted to prepay that money instead? Take some money out of a dormant account, money that's sitting on the sideline, waiting to be spent on maintenance, waiting to be spent on repairs. But I have a little bit extra. I could give the bank that $2,456 up front, and I get the same equity, but I save myself $10,944 in interest I don't have to pay now to get the same equity. So I'm getting equity faster and I'm getting equity cheaper, and my return on my money is almost 450% return on my money. Where else are you going to get that kind of return? And so, folks, in the last few minutes here, we want to do a quick reset. You are in the Mortgage Syndicate Club. If you're not a member, go ahead and touch that greenhouse at the top. Join this club. The Mortgage Syndicate is all things real estate. And guess what? This room is open 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, from 6 a.m. to 12 p.m., giving you all sorts of information that is real estate related. It is amazing. Now, we share this space. The P.I.L.L Method Club and the Mortgage Syndicate Club share the space on Sundays, all right, for about 2 hours. And we come in here and then share what we do. So you also wanted to join the P.I.L.L Method Club, where we talk about how to save money and interest. And today we're talking about the biggest loophole ever All right. That's not part of the tax code. And now here's what we're going. Here's where we're going. We're going to wrap it all up and put a bow on it. But before we do that, we need to hear from Kirk the Bank Barnes. Kirk the Bank Barnes, can you introduce yourself? Are you available to do that, sir?
Hey, yes, Don. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Kurt the Bank Barnes, a commercial loan broker, a short-term rental operator, and buy and hold investor out of New York City. Here to support Don each and every day. And I love what Credit Ninja said. I know I liked it for a reason. My favorite number is actually 8 as well. So I really like how she broke that down. And Don, you know I'm always in here supporting you. Karine, good morning. Luis, Donna, Star, Suzette, Joshua, Hannibal, what's going on, my brother? And Amanda, good morning, everyone.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. So, Luis, you missed that part because somebody called you, but I don't want you to miss this. The part that we're talking about today, because we're going to get ready to wrap this thing up, is that by prepaying the $2,456 and a penny, I save $10,944 in interest I don't have to pay. And then what we did was we figured out what our return on investment is. When you calculate your return on investment, take your income, which is the $10,944, and divide it by your total assets, which is the 245601 we're using in this example to invest. Your return on investment is like 446% return on your money. Luis, where else are you going to get that kind of return on your money? It's
I don't know.
okay. Well, I'll say it for you. Clip it. So, folks, that's what we're talking about. Now, if you're getting your equity cheaper and you can get 100%, 200%, 300%, 400% return on your money. So, the money I save in interest, Luis, what tax do I pay on the $10,944 I did not pay the bank? Do I pay taxes on that? Zero. Folks, where else can he said clip it? Where else can you invest, get a 400% return on your money, and you don't owe any tax? You're getting your equity cheaper. You're getting you're getting a great return on your money because you're using money that's sitting dormant, making 0.1%. So, folks, here is the rest of the story. Here's the rest of the story. All right, Amanda, we're bringing you to the stage. I've got a piece that we're going to close this thing out with. But do you have a question or a comment today, Miss Amanda?
Yes. Good morning. Comment being, this is just amazing. I don't know how you know this and the rest of the world doesn't. So thank you for sharing just so many golden nuggets here. My question being, if I've had an interest in real estate for quite a while, but life the last few years has just taken me on a different trajectory, and it has affected my credit in a negative way. So I have had my credit plummet in the last few years, and so I, for every reason, need to rebuild my credit. But being in a poor credit situation and knowing that real estate, what I'm looking to invest my money in the near future, do you have a a suggestion on best course of action to turn that around?
Listen, I'm going to do something that that may be a little unorthodox. So let me ask you: who told you you had a poor credit situation?
Well, myself.
There you
from
go.
knowing
There you
where
go.
it used to be to where it is now.
There you go. So you want to get you want to get into real estate?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And tell me, what do you mean when you want to get into real estate? Tell me what that means.
My boyfriend does. My boyfriend can build houses from the ground up. He owned his own business, building houses. Now he's a roofer. We're both interested in real estate, but being that he's able to do work to houses, I'm definitely interested in like fix and flips, potential rentals.
Gotcha. That sounds good. That sounds good. Number
Yeah.
one, I'm going to recommend. Are you? Have you joined the Mortgage Syndicate Club? Have you joined the club?
I've actually been a member for, I want to say, since beta days.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you've been in here several times, correct?
This is my first time in the mortgage syndicate in quite a while.
Okay.
I haven't been in the room in a while.
All right, so here's what I'm going to tell you. Whatever you want to do, there's somebody out there that can help you understand what it is you need specifically to get into the business. Don't disqualify yourself ever, because what you need to get into real estate may be a lot less than you think you need because of the skill sets you can pick up. Okay, that's number one. So never disqualify yourself. And you may find out you could probably do this with little or no cash out of your pocket to get started.
Sounds good to me.
And
Yeah.
if you need to borrow money, to get into this thing, there are commercial lenders. Now it won't be your Chase banks or your Bank of Americas, or your Wells Fargos. There won't be that, but there are commercial banks that, if your project is lucrative, meaning you got the property, okay, for under market. All right, under market, and they see that they can make money on it. They will lend you money based on the project, not your credit score.
Asset-based lending.
So in that, you're saying approaching the lender with kind of, I guess, having my boyfriend in my back pocket, coming with, plans drawn out for, I guess, for like work that's going to be done on the property to increase the value of it.
Here's what I mean. So increase the value. So there are a lot of things just going on here. You would need to know what your ARV is, what the after repair value. Okay, so you know what that is. So when you figure that out, so okay, what is the property worth, and what did you secure it for? Because you can get an interest in the property with no money. There's ways to do that. Let's say you can. All right. And then you say, now I got this property for, I can get into this property and fix it up and put a renter into it. And here are all my numbers. Okay. They're basing that on the numbers. What is it going to cost to fix it? All right. How much money can I make with it? What did I pay for it? Okay. And then once you get everything lined up like that, then you take that to a commercial banker through a broker. And then the commercial banker will look at what you have and say, you know what? If you have the 20 to 25% down, I'll lend you the rest, not only to purchase the house, but to fix it up.
Boom.
There you go. There's a way to do that. And there are people in here that are expert in doing it. And on Thursdays, they talk about nothing but that in this room on how to purchase properties creatively on Thursdays.
Hey, Don, it's Kareen.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Kareen.
On that note, though, there is, since I was a commercial lender before, but the traditional way, I know Kirk is commercial lender in the non-traditional world. It is also based on the income that the commercial property brings in. So The traditional banking and financing is definitely not your way into that. There's a couple of tracks that you can go to. When you go to the traditional lending and um, banking, is you definitely need to have your personal credit, up there at least at the bare minimum 700. So when you say you have poor credit, I would, we have Credit Ninja on stage. She can ninja your credit score. And Hannibal is also a credit expert who's in Club. And I also have personal financial literacy where I teach credit inside my club. But with that being said, you can connect with the mortgage syndicate people like Kirk who can really lay it out for you and break it down for you, because it's a lot to obviously discuss on stage. When you do that simultaneously, you want to also look at your credit and repair that, because then, traditional lending and banking is always, almost always, not always, but almost always going to be low risk lending and preferred lending, which means you get a better rate. But also, we already know that Don doesn't care if your rate's 100% because he will hack it for you. You have a team of people on the stage right here, right now, that can make sure that every angle of your business is going to be like optimized. So I just want to say that you still should look at your credit regardless and make sure your credit is up there, because there's a lot of money game we can make happen for you when you have both ends of the spectrum, optimized. Back to you, Don.
Hey
Can I
Don, can
jump
I say
in,
one
Don?
last thing?
It's credit. I'm going to jump on top of what Kareen had mentioned. It's a game, and what ICE is telling you. I just read the first page, and it's like, oh my god, like mind blown the way he stated. Whatever you learned in the past, throw it out the window, because that's what they want everybody to know. Okay, and same thing with credit. I've been in the credit space as long as ICE has been in the space that he's in. I mean, I've been in it for 31 years. I don't know. Um, but it's a long time. And as Isis mentioned, in 1934, when they had this amortization schedule for a 30-year mortgage, in 1970s, Congress passed a law to help consumers fight against the credit bureaus. To make sure that the data is accurate. That's in 1970 something. But people didn't use it until the last 10 years. Is that crazy, Ice? They didn't use it to their
Crazy.
advantage. Yeah, last 10 years is when, because of social media, because of Instagram, and YouTube, it got brought to the surface, and now people know more, and that means it's putting a lot of strain on the credit bureaus and the bank, because now they have to respond to a tremendous amount of complaints and disputes, to the point where some of them, and this just happened recently in the last few months, they're throwing all those things away. They're throwing all your disputes away. And it's a violation. It's a federal violation for them not to respond it's a law. So now they're getting fined for that. And understand another thing. Credit bureaus are not the government. Please get that out of your head. Credit bureaus are data agencies that report a certain score that they send to the bank so that the banks make the determination. Can you get that out of your head? Don't be scared of them, because when you overcome fear and understand how the game is played, that's what I do. Is, yeah, I'm a credit expert, but I build confidence. ICE builds confidence. Kareem builds confidence. Hannibal builds confidence. Kirk builds confidence. Because if you know how the game is played, they can't get one up on you. Okay? And trust me, I'm sick today. I have a cold today. I could be quiet like a mouse. And you're thinking, well, this, most Asians don't talk because they're. I'm like the oddball, guys. I don't do that, because I have a moral obligation to go out there and help you, because I destroyed my credit. I lost a lot of money. I lost my home. I'm pointing the look at Suzette's pointing the finger to me. Yeah, I'm pointing the finger to me. I'm speaking for me, myself, and I. And when people go, well, just keep your credit score, like your credit card at 30%. Yeah, 30% overall doesn't work, guys. Each individual card has to be under 30% for your score to be optimized. So take advantage of the 0% credit cards out there so that you can use some of that money to pay down your interest. How about that, ICE? You know?
Exactly.
And listen, it's not 30%. Try to keep each card under, I'm going to say this, it's going to be triggering, guys, under 8%. 8% on each card. And the reason why you keep getting credit cards, like at Chase, some people just have one credit card. Dude, if you have one credit card, how can you manipulate the balances and the limits? I get like 5 or 6. And then it's what's called, comparable credit. Comparable credit is a term that is used when banks look at your overall lines of credit. They're going to give you based on what you have. So if you have puny little, you know, you know, embarrassing credit one or capital on cards that are 1,000, that's nothing, guys. And your score looks like 800. It's not an 800. It's a fake 800. It's like carrying a Louis Vuitton that's fake, or Gucci. It's not Gucci, but it's a Coochie. Like from China. I don't know. I saw this guy wearing I'm a big lover of slides. I wear Gucci everything, okay? Gucci slides, Gucci sneakers. I'm Gucci'd out. And then I was on the plane and this person was wearing a slide. I never seen that design before. And of course I got to put on my glasses and it's Gucci. It's with the C.
Oh, Lord, have mercy.
Dude. So understand, you got to have the right credit cards. You have to have the right limits. It's a game, guys. And the more that you dig deeper, the banks don't want you to dig deeper, because when you dig deeper, what do you find? Gold, right? But when
Exactly.
you dig and you only dig the surface, what do you find? Fake shit. I see these people wearing diamond rings and they're zirconias. Zirconias. You got to get the ice. You know what the ice is? It's real diamond.
There you go. So
It's real
Leanne,
diamond.
listen.
So understand that.
Let me jump in here for a second, because we got everybody that's online that's watching us. We have to let them go in 8 minutes. We're going to stay in here just a little bit longer on Clubhouse, though. But I want to finish this up that I've got. And so, Amanda, did you get some? Did you get some direction here from us? You know who to touch base
Yes,
with.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Never discount yourself. Listen, you're probably more ready to get started than you thought. Okay. So touch.
Great, thank you.
So touch
and I'm
base.
following all of you.
Great. Touch base and see how you can get in the game. All right. Let's see how you can get in the game, folks. So what we talked about, folks, we just showed an example of a penny saved is a penny earned, how we can prepay money and save tons of interest. And when we do the math, we're looking at making over 400% on your money that you do not have to pay taxes on. Now, what do you do with the equity you just received at a discount? I'm going to put something else on the screen here. All right, so here it is, folks. There it is. All right, here's one of our real estate investors. Here's what we're talking about. He has on $2 million worth of property that's on the screen right now. All right. Let's go ahead and put that on so that we can finish up here. We got $2 million worth of debt on the screen right now. $2.2 million. Here's what he's cash flowing on this, over $57,800 a month. Here's his payment, $14,696 a month. That's it. Making big money on this. So here's what we showed him. He says the bank wants how much interest on this? $1,123,195. $1,123,195. Now remember, that's how much interest the bank wants. This real estate investor used to look at that as the cost of doing business, because remember, he's making $57,800 monthly on these two commercial buildings, but his payments are only $14,696. That's the mortgage payment. So he's making a ton of money, over $41,000 a month. Cash flow. Wow. So here's what we're talking about, folks. We showed him how he can only pay, because he read my book. You see the book PTR there. He read my book and gave me a call. It says, I understand what I've been doing. I've been making money, but I've been losing opportunities because now I'm looking at the amount of interest that the bank wants. How can I pay them less, but it will not restrict me from investing my cash? I said, this is what we'll have to do. When I show you how to do this, you're only going to pay around $231,000 in interest. I'm going to show him how to save $891,726 in interest. That's how much he's going to save. So when I put that on the screen, folks, okay, he's going to pay $231,000 to acquire the same asset. Okay, the same asset was going to cost him $1,123,000 in interest. He's now going to get the same asset for $231,000 in interest. That's an $891,000 savings. So when we put what he's going to save, $891,726, okay, and then we divide it by what he's actually going to pay, divide that by 231,468, 3.85 or 385% return on his money. He's not making that kind of return on the building itself. Okay. Really, I'm talking about the amount of the value of the property as it goes up year over year. The increase in value, which is around 15%. 20% is great, but when you can borrow money and use it this way and get a 385% return on your money to get the same asset. Now what happens? You don't have to pay taxes on the $891,000 money he saved. Now what does he do with that money over the next 17 years? Look at this number here. We're going to show him how to make over $9 million with that money. $9 million with that money. Now, this money is in the tax code. So now what does he do when he reinvests that money into more doors and turns it into $9 million worth of assets? And he continues to take cash out to buy more buildings. Folks, what happens when you do a 1031 exchange? Anybody talk about that, where you could take money out of this building and put it into a building? Does anybody know what a 1031 exchange is? Can I explain that? Okay. All right.
Sorry, I was on the back channel. Hey Don, it's exchanging your proceeds, your equity from one property to another like property. So that way you can it's not tax free, but you can postpone your taxes for whatever. So if you sold a multifamily building and you had $1 million in proceeds, you look for another property that is of like property. So you can transfer it, and you have up to, I think, 6 months to move it and find another like property in order for you to defer the taxes on it, and you never pay taxes. You just keep doing it.
You just keep doing it. Defer the taxes. So now I am building up money. So I got a great. That's what I'm talking about.
Great explanation, Kareem.
I just made a whole ton of money by not paying all that interest to acquire the same asset, 345% return on my money. So he says, how do we do that? How do we do that without hurting ourselves? Because he is taking $36,000 a month out of this deal and reinvesting it. He's putting into his reserve account a little over $6,000 a month. That's the money we're using in the reserve account. He's still investing. All right. So here's what we're talking. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Don. I was taking notes,
Yes.
and I was listening to that beautiful explanation that Corinne did. Can you guys just tell me the name of that again?
The 1031 exchange.
I'll type in the chat.
Okay, so we're going to come back to that. I've got to let everybody. I got to finish this up, and I'm going to come back after we let everybody go online. So, folks, here's what we're talking about. We are saying that he's using a tiny bit of his money to use that, leverage that. All right, and save a ton of interest, over almost $900,000 in interest, and he's going to take that and turn it into over $9 million worth of assets that he's going to be. He can defer taxes on. But when I build up my net worth, ladies, can I borrow money against my net worth? Anybody?
Yes, you can.
I can. Do I pay taxes on that money?
Nope.
Oh, Lord have mercy. The biggest loophole ever, not found in the tax code, and we talked about it right here today. Folks, we're going to be right back here. If you're online, we're going to be right back here on Wednesday in the P.I.L.L Method Club, and we're going to be bringing you more valuable information. If you're in Clubhouse right now, start sharing this room. We got 31 shares. I'm going to be right back here after we hear from Dr. Eric Thomas one more time. Play it. See ya.
Listen to me, y'all. But one of his mentees took us through one of their programs, and I paid off my mortgage. But guess what happened? My marriage went to a whole nother level. And you know why? Because my wife is a security freak. And even when I blew up, my wife would be like, oh, you blew up, but how long is you going to keep making this kind of money? I was like, I don't know, forever. She's like, you sure? Because I'm going to keep my license as a nurse just in case you don't. So when I paid the house off, my boy was like, you ain't got to do that, you can do this. But when I paid the house off using that program, it took the stress level all the way down for my wife because we no longer had a mortgage. Does that make sense? That thing that was coming every month, that was getting on her nerves, we didn't have that no more. And so she was at rest.